Deck of cards, it's all aces, aces. Me and them different places, places. When you fall off the faces, faces, then you might know what's space.
Hello my friends, we were about to shoot the intro for this special video, but we were interrupted by an absolute epic group of women checking in from cloudy Barcelona. Absolute terrible weather. I don't know why we escaped Berlin for this. And we're kicking off the offsite. Yeah, so we're kicking off the notus offsite to plan Q2 and reflect on Q1, but most importantly to spend some quality time with the team. So in this video we'll document the process of conducting the offsite, share some behind the scenes of the company metrics and reflecting on the first quarter of 2025, and hopefully share a lot of insights with you all as well. Look at this guy over there, Maximilian Radman.
Alright, we assembled the team, snacking protein bars and Pringle chips, that's the combo I guess. And now we're going to transition into kicking things off officially. I always like to start with some breathing, and then we're going to do a little mini all hands. So I'm going to do a Q1 recap, just going through what happened in the business, the most important metrics, highlights and challenges, a little bit of an outlook for Q2. Yeah, we're going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it light, we're going to go for dinner afterwards. And what I've realized with these offsites is that the most important thing is just to give everyone space to just talk and to spend time with each other, to get to know the person behind the Google Meets and the Zooms, because we're a remote first company. So these quarterly offsites are precious to us.
Getting ready for the first little session. Everybody's mingling in well. New faces, mixing, and just had a little cleanup session in the apartment before everybody came, just in time. And now let's go. Cool.
Feeling good?
Ja. Messages vorbereiten, ein paar Sachen ausschicken, aber eigentlich ist das clean. Max hat viel beholfen heute.
Shout out Matt. Max hat seinen Demon Mode reingetappt, aber hey.
Bist du ein bisschen angry?
That's a challenge with team offsites in the middle of the week. We still have client work and like 40 active clients actually, potentially requesting things or sending us messages. So making sure we have enough headspace to actually enjoy and be present. Not easy, but seems like the team was able to do so. We're going to transition into the introduction of the offsite. A 5-5er is just 5 in through the nose, 5 out through the nose for 5 times. Just to ground ourselves a little bit before things get a little more serious. I have a couple of images as per usual, and then just the most important numbers and updates from the business broken into the different areas of the business. But I'd say on the highest level, we did continue building massive momentum this quarter and crossed 100K in MRR, which was right on track with what we wanted to accomplish at the beginning of the year. We started with around 80K in MRR. And so depending on how we close March, we are very much achieving the ambitious goal we set for ourselves. And of course, we're only getting started. But it's not only about revenue numbers, it's more about also restructuring our team to be able to handle those numbers and to be able to then also grow and earn more themselves. And to do that, we need radical focus. We need to become more effective and we need to level up individually. And everything that is red, I realized didn't serve our key focus. How can we get them closer to revenue? How can we get them closer to generating actual tangible results, which what a lot of clients want is meetings in their calendar. And so one key focus point for Q2 will be to develop this and to just find ways to provide better results for the clients, which will be something that I will be working on a lot in Q2 and own. So that's that. I wanted to use a GIF in the presentation. So we have a GIF here to announce Personal Brand Hub. We have one exciting announcement with Max going up one layer here and now being officially head of content. So from team lead content to head of content. Well deserved.
That's crazy looking at those numbers. There was always one of, like, I'm in this whole agency game for now 7 years, 8 years, and it was always a goal of mine to hit 100K in revenue, which was always this glamorous, unachievable goal that everyone had in the space. And it's crazy that we crossed it, and it feels so natural, and it feels like we earned it because we're grinding like crazy. And it's also crazy to see what it actually takes to get there, how simple it is if you focus on the right things, and how easy it is to just get distracted with so much stuff that you could do that you maybe think is relevant, but in the end it's not. So I'm very grateful to be in this position now where I reached this personal goal through all of you. So, I mean, I could never ever fucking do this on my own, but just being on this boat together with you guys and crushing those numbers and seeing 150K MRR there and knowing that we will reach it just makes me proud. So thank you to all of you.
Okay, let's get some food.
Whipping the bench and she live in LA. Trying to thank God but don't know what to say. Don't call that little ass place no estate unless it came with a pool in the gate. Check the rear before I pull in the gate.
First dinner of the weekend. We're at Out of India now for the Indian feast. I'm looking forward. I'm very much looking forward actually. Some naan.
Still enjoyable?
1 to 10, Luca.
I'm gonna choke. And it's a little spicy.
Okay, so something like
8.5.
20 cents.
Really good shit.
Is it good? The water bender.
You only with your right.
Tomorrow morning, we have official start at 10 a.m.
Nice.
Which is,
I thought
yeah,
it was
that's
7:30.
crazy.
She say wow, never met a nigga with dick in her house. Spitting them out, digging her out with a chop in the couch for a rat or a mouse. I feel like Michael Jackson, moonwalking through the Calabasas. Louis bag, gotta hold the ratchet.
GM friends, after a lovely Indian dinner last night, we were properly fueled to go for a little morning run. It's 9:20 and Niels, Uma, Agnes and I went for a little 6K to get the energy state up. I'm getting a little bit of work done before the rest of the team arrives in about 35 minutes, which for me meant, on the one hand, reviewing YouTube footage and making sure that there are no burning fires in my email inbox. Yeah, now we got the first full day of the offsite ahead. We're gonna get everyone in the room and exchange ideas around how to use AI and just reflecting on all the things on our plate on a day-to-day basis, and then just asking ourselves, what could we delete, what could we automate, or what should we change? And with that theme, we're gonna see where we get as a group, and in between just get a lot of coffee and walks in to make sure everyone gets to connect with each other and have good combos. That's the goal, that's the day. Let's keep it going.
Today we got some oranges and some apples. Both will be served with cinnamon. Not just healthy, but also delicious.
We're kicking things off with a little breathing. And then we're gonna get into the first little workshop brainstorm session. The team is here. Energy levels are through the roof. I see a lot of laptops open, a lot of Slack messages being handled before we kick things off right now. I'm fucking in a different sphere.
My love, my love, my love.
To just write down everything that we do on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. Mostly surrounding the project work, but for example, every Sunday I plan my week for an hour. That could be an item in there as well. Meetings, your tasks you have. And then we're gonna score everything on that list. And basically, you're gonna write down every item, and then you're gonna score it based on the impact it has, or you believe it has. Just score it from 1 to 3 on how impactful that thing is, that item, how much effort it takes. That's the second score from 1 to 3, and then it's the priority that you see with that. But the most important thing is impact and effort, because what we're gonna do after this exercise is to go through these things and reflect on what is most annoying that we have to do. Look, this is between just the four of us here, but Luca and I are manifesting the cafe that will open up maybe in 2026.
Barcelona coffee place.
Could be Barcelona.
Colombian.
Could be Berlin. And I mean, a couple of highlights that came up were challenging the new weekly checkout messages and what to include and what not to include. So that's going to be something to follow up on later.
But it turned out really interesting because we were able to fix some things right away and talk about certain stuff. The biggest part was kind of thinking about what would make the service even better.
Shop and still I'm too geek for the guy. Yeah, whoa, I've been in the house, but I'm coming outside tonight. Girl, you so sexy, there's nothing that I wanna keep on the side. Yeah, I love how you always be speaking your mind.
We had a delicious lunch at Honest Greens, and now, of course, we need some coffee. And so we're going to our go-to cafe, Nudes. Shout out Ryan and Tim. I think it's their third location now, and they got very good Americanos. Also, a lot of crazy-looking, fancy drinks. Tried some of them. But go-to is the Americano, and very cool people, very cool place. Now back to the HQ to continue our brainstorming sessions from the morning.
Cause that's what you should be discussing with me. Yeah, that's what we should be talking about. 25 deep when they walking me out, cause too many pussies been fucking with me. Yeah.
It's about good content, and it's especially about what makes good content. And I think the initial thought is thinking about who's the best writer in the game, who writes the best. But as we will see, and I don't want to take away too much because it also features a question round, it takes much more than that. Kind of about reverse engineering good content, about understanding what it's about, understanding the goals, understanding the ICP, understanding what a good strategy is, what good questions are, and then based on that, you get the good content, and then eventually, obviously, it's copywriting, but it's not just that. And we're going to talk about all the details of this now and in the following. And I'm excited for it. Speaking about good content and what makes content good content.
But so good that I should be inside, but I had to step out with the guys.
We're on our way to dinner now, and we just wrapped up the video shoot, which is why Luca and I are 30 minutes behind. But yeah, we had a very nice workshop hosted by Luca, going through our new approach and just best practices in terms of how to map out a proper content strategy, especially in our case, fueled by the content calls that we have with our clients. And so there was about a 25-minute session of him just explaining how we are updating our process to plan ahead, much more specifically what kind of topics we will cover based on the client goals and background. And from there, what emerged was also a very interesting discussion with other team members who work on client projects on a day-to-day basis, chiming in, talking about, but if we're focusing on, getting these content calls to a point where we know exactly what we want with outlines and clear checked boxes, don't we lose the natural conversation and the relationship building aspect of it? And so that was a very interesting question, and the answer was, well, if we do it right, we won't. We were going to just have guardrails within the topics that we want to get from the clients, but we're going to still flow the conversation naturally. And we're also going to give it space, or give the client space in the beginning of the interview to also share their own topics. Anyhow, we don't have much more time for me to just ramble on about personal branding and what we do for a living, but rather we have a taxi to catch because we're going to get dinner now, and we'll take it from there.
Nuevayol!
Meet my parents.
Si te quieres divertir.
All right, guys, we just wrapped up dinner. We had a fun time, ate a lot of food, and now wrap up, going to the HQ. Nothing else on the plan tomorrow? What's on the plan tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Selim will grace us with a special workshop. I don't want to reveal too much, but I have high hopes. And then we're gonna just tour through the city, get steps in, maybe hike a little bit, and take it from there. I'm stuffed.
Thank you.
Wait, this is not staged.
This is not staged.
This is actually.
Pick up the phone. You know Spanish.
What is going on? Shout out to this.
No, listen. The driver gonna drop you off. Alright, it's warm. The waterfall's crazy. I don't know, make something up, tell them something.
Good morning, friends. It is Saturday now. We had a lovely morning run. First time in the sun, absolute blessing. And now the whole team is here, overly caffeinated, and about to embark on a little workshop experience with Selim. And then afterwards, we're gonna just stroll to the city, go for a little hike up to Monju, and take it from there. Last day, all about just enjoying the beautiful surroundings and getting the last few catch-ups going. And then that's that. That's gonna wrap up the offsite. Let's go.
All right, guys, we're setting the vibes. It's time to. We reflected yesterday a lot about the numbers and all the goals that we've reached, and that's all cool. But I also want to open the space for people to share more about their emotional journey and reflect on the past quarter, and use that chance to just connect on a deeper level with each other, and also hear more about the ups and downs and all the personal challenges that we went throughout the whole quarter. And then also tapping into the visions and sharing about our visions. And it's going to be a dynamic workshop with a lot of sharing and hopefully some vulnerability. That's a goal. And I will lead with that. So yeah, super excited for it. Super excited to connect with all of them on a deeper level. And yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun. We talked about numbers and a lot about metrics and goals and KPIs and all of that good stuff. And we reached our goals, we're on track, and we will continue to do so. And all of that is beautiful. But one thing that I also want to emphasize more is also just sharing about our emotional journey, reaching those goals, and how we felt throughout the whole quarter. So I would love to open the space also just for a sharing circle. I had an ayahuasca ceremony. I had 2 weeks completely on my own, basically in the woods, reflecting about what I created and what I want to create in this quarter. And I set goals for my personal life and also for my business goals and things that I wanted to achieve with Notus. And spoiler alert, I didn't achieve any of the goals that I wanted to achieve, which is always interesting looking back at those goals, because I have the tendency to just set a lot of goals. I had like 5 goals listed. I wanted to have a 6-pack. I wanted to be in my best physical shape, which I probably am, but I don't have a 6-pack. I wanted to reach 200K MRR as my goal. We didn't. I wanted to train and set the setter who's gonna take over the DMs and take over that whole motion. I fucked that one up too. I wanted to learn the piano, didn't. I wanted to, what else? I wanted to make my driver's license for my motorcycle. I didn't. Like, there were some goals that I had that I just didn't follow through and that I didn't execute on properly. I mean, on a KPI standpoint, all the KPIs were kind of on track, which is cool, good enough, but I know that I can do so much better. And I think we all can do so much better. And for that, we have ourselves. We have us as a team to support each other, to hold each other accountable to what we see in each other, right? Probably you see, I don't know what you see in me, but I see myself probably lower than you guys see me, or some of you. Maybe that's also just my assumption. But in general, I think that's what we are here for as friends and also as a team, to support each other to become the best possible versions of ourselves so that we feel comfortable and fulfilled with our lives and not just with our business goals. And yeah, with that, I would just open the space, and then we can. I want to keep this dynamic, so whoever wants to share can also share a highlight or a low light, whatever it is, please.
Hi, I'm Luca. I was the guy behind the camera of this vlog. I need to catch a flight, so Marvin will take over with this Osmo, as usual. Shoutouts to the Notus team. Some of the coolest people I've ever met. One of the coolest companies. So shoutouts to Marvin, to Notus, to all the people, and have fun with the vlog.
One bite, everybody knows the rules. What's the rating, Max?
It's a little oily. 6.9.
Hi, Salem.
Hi, Uma. Shooting a video.
Hey, Luca, thank you for taking over. And, well, actually, huge shout out to Luca, because you actually crushed it the last few days with us. Really appreciate you capturing all of these moments and being super pro. Although I have bad news, the SD card is almost full, so I can't film anymore. But we're enjoying a beautiful off day, beautiful Saturday here.